Hello and welcome to Darling Street Oval this evening for this round 9 catch-up match. Hamilton Olympic up against the Charlestown City Blues. It should be a good contest. It's second up against fifth tonight. Hamilton Olympic second on the ladder. 24 points this season, 7 wins and 3 draws. Yet to have a loss this season. And Charlestown, they're sitting fifth on 14 points, 4 wins, 2 draws and 4 losses. But those last 4 losses have come in the last 4 matches, so they'll be keen to arrest that losing streak tonight against Hamilton Olympic, who have had 2 draws in their last 2 matches. So they've struggled to find the back of the net in their last couple of matches in the PlayStation 4 Northern New South Wales NPL, just the 2 goals. Joining me in commentary tonight, Damien Smith, and Damien, promises to be an interesting match, this one.
Yes, Ben, it's a nice, cool night, but I think there's going to be a lot of heat on the pitch, I think, tonight. Looking at the team sheet, there's some interesting facts there. And I think, obviously, this is a crucial game for both sides. As Olympics trying to keep in touch with Edgeworth or even overtake Edgeworth tonight, while Charlestown looking for 3 points to overtake Maitland in that 4th spot. For Olympic, obviously, they lost against Lambton in the FFA Cup. They lost a little bit of momentum from that game, having a draw last week against Adamstown. So talking to Mitch Bolch prior to the game, he's really keen to get the side bouncing back, and he wants a bit more effort from his squad today. For Charlestown, big loss last week against Azuri. They'll be looking for 3 points today, but the most important thing for Charlestown is they've conceded 17 goals in the last 4 games. So they really want to tighten up defence. And just talking to Shane Price prior to the game, Charlestown have got 4 players out tonight: Cameron Cellini, Ben Hughes, Josh Maguire and Frame. So they're blooding some young ones tonight, and it's going to be their first start.
Yeah, that's 4 big losses for them, especially Ben Hughes, who normally is their captain. Filling in tonight is Reen Ferguson, who's got the captain's armband for Charlestown, and Kyle Hodges, who was in doubt for this match. He is taking the pitch for Hamilton Olympic. And the only real change for Hamilton is that Jacob Bailey comes into the side and Simon Mooney drops off onto the bench for Olympic.
Yeah, talking to Michael Bolch prior to the game. Actually, there's 2 changes. Cody Lucas drops to the bench and Andrew Swan comes in. So Michael Bolch is just going to stay with a similar lineup as he has done in the last 10 11 games. So, but he'll be looking for more effort today, and he'll be looking for a really quick start.
Yeah, so Andrew and Matt Swan starting for Hamilton. I'd say that this would have to be the first match this season where those 2 have started for Hamilton Olympic this season. Both of them have been injured and unavailable at various times. It'll be Tommy Spencer and Kane Goodchild to get us underway. So Andrew Digby blows his whistle and gets us underway, and Tommy Spencer goes back to Jacob Bailey. This first half, it'll be Hamilton from right to left of screen in their dark blue home kit, and then Charlestown left to right in their light blue kit this evening. Charlestown City Blues, as we mentioned, 4 defeats in their last 4 matches, and Damien, also Charlestown 6 goals they conceded in their first 6 matches, and as you mentioned, 17 in their last 4. So defensively, they really need to tighten up tonight.
Yeah, talking to Shane Price prior to the game. They've changed their shape slightly in the last 2 weeks. They did change it to play 5 at the back against the Jets last week, and they're going to continue that tonight. So they just want to get more numbers behind the ball.
Runs down to the corner, and Swan goes up the line. Just getting it out of danger there. But just back to those formations, Damien. So Charlestown's formation, they're playing with 5 at the back tonight as Spencer plays it through for Reece Cooper. Sam Hudson getting back and doing the defensive work. Comes back for Matt Swan. Touches it on to Bird. Plenty of entertainment in these opening couple of minutes as Bailey is dispossessed and taken down, and giving the free kick away, Jacob Bailey, was Andy Kshiln going down. But just those formations, Damien.
Yeah, just Shane Price. He's switched to like a 5-man back line, or 3 central with 2 right and left sort of wing backs. He said he wants more effort in defence. He said the reason for their success in the first 6 games is when the ball broke down, everyone will get behind the ball. But at the moment, there's only 6 or 7 players getting behind the ball, which is causing a few problems.
This ball runs on for Ferguson. He plays it back towards the middle of the ground. And Bertos comes away with it. Goes to Andrew Swan. Goes up the line. And turned over with Charlestown for Jaden Logwitz, who plays his second match for Charlestown from the weekend. Burtos bumped to ground, and the free kick goes Hamilton's way.
Yeah, so Shane Price is looking for a much improved effort. And obviously Shane Price being an ex-National League fullback, obviously defence is a key for him. So it's a big test for their young squad tonight.
Todd McSorley gets his boot to that one. Up the front, and Andrew Swan with the interception. Bumped down. Couple of starting debuts for Charlestown tonight, as well as Reen Ferguson. Tries to get on the outside of Grant Brown, who gets shoved down. No free kick given. Charlestown bench not too impressed with that as Danny Oland goes up the ground. Good child can't get his head to it. And Billy Gibbons, there he was, one of the players starting on their debut tonight. Jethro Elkington, the other one, as it goes wide to Kajiln. Plays it down the line for Elkington. Back to Kajiln. Stepping away and wins it back to Jared Johnson. Jared Johnson, he's been very good for Charlestown since moving over from Broadmeadow Magic as Hamilton win the free kick. Just not fitting into that Magic lineup at the start of the year. Just a lot of players they've got to pick in the midfield, Broadmeadow. Yeah,
Jared's a very good player and has been a great player for a number of years. But as he said, I think in the paper, like he felt like a little bit of lacking pace in the Magic lineup with all the young boys floating around him. But he's a great acquisition for Azzurri.
2 goals this season already for Charlestown. He scored one against Adamstown in their 2-0 win at home, and then in their 3-2 loss against Valentine a couple of weeks ago. There's Sam Hudson on the ball for Charlestown. Jared Johnson goes up towards Reen Ferguson. Prolific goal scoring early on in the season. As the ball sent through for Kane Goodchild, who's after it. He's got Daniel Bird in the middle, but Charlestown are numbering up well in the box. And it goes over for a corner kick.
Yeah, there was a good interplay there from Charlestown. Just put a little bit of pressure on the Azzurri back. Sorry, the Charlestown back three. Just with the back three for Charlestown, if I was Hamilton, I'd probably push one of their midfielders on a little bit because there's just 3v1 up there and Goodchild's been left stranded. So I'd probably just push the back line up a bit, push the midfielders on a little bit just to make the defence do a bit more work.
Here's the corner, whipped in towards the back post. Reen Ferguson rising high for Charlestown to get it out of immediate danger. Andrew Swan stabbing it through. He finds Bailey, touches back onto Daniel Bird. Good interception, and Lehman quickly goes to Ferguson. Playing with the captain's armband tonight, this one towards the sideline. Just unable to be reeled in there by Jared Purcell. A throw for Hamilton and Andrew Swan just on halfway. Just over 5 minutes gone in this one. Darling Street this afternoon. This evening, I should say. Tommy Spencer gets away from plenty of Charlestown defenders. Still Spencer goes down in the box, but tripping over the ball there to Tommy Spencer, and it rolls back to Nathan Archbold.
Ben, you know what's exciting about this game at the moment? You've got a very youthful Azzurri side, full of energy, full of talk, with an experienced Hamilton side desperate for a win, and they're full of talk as well. So there's good atmosphere at the game tonight, even though it's freezing cold.
I know it is. Coldest match I think we've been to this year. We've had a couple of night matches at Broadmeadow. It's been pretty chilly there. Very much the same here at Darling Street tonight. Of course, the other 2 matches that will be played tonight, they're also live, so you can check out the scores at those, but we'll give them to you as they come in. Western up against Lambton. It'll be cold up at Western tonight, I'm sure, Damien. And out at Edgeworth, it'll be cold as well. They're taking on Adamstown. Some big matches going on as it's brought wide from Kyle Hodges to Andrew Swan. Down the line. Edgeworth with a 1-0 lead over Adamstown. Very early on there at Jack McLaughlin Oval. Lambton and Western at 0-0. 2 very young sides going to battle at Rockwell Automation Park tonight. As Leo Burtos to Spencer and now Bird. Back to Andrew Swan. Swan goes down and wins the free kick. Really interested to see how Charlestown do respond here, because Hamilton, they've had a couple of poor performances with those 1-1 draws. Mick Bolt saying they're just not taking their chances. And Charlestown have had some poor performances, but I think the pressure's more on Olympic tonight. Charlestown taking on the side higher on the ladder. They just seem to be... they'll have plenty of confidence going into this one, I think, these younger guys.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Ben. I think there is more pressure on Olympic tonight, especially now they've been knocked out of the FFA Cup. So their ultimate achievement now is to win the minor premiership and the NPL and really concentrate on the NPL.
It's Reece Cooper charges down the far side, looking for Goodchild in the middle, who's second in the standings for the Golden Boot for the season with 10 goals. James Virgili up the top of that with 12. Scored another on the weekend to James Virgili, but not playing tonight as Magic played their catch-up match a couple of weeks ago. Stepping in between them is Purcell, looking forward for Reen Ferguson. Brown, wide to Swan. Now up the line, looking for Tommy Spencer. Lehman. Brings it back to Logvitz. And now Todd McSorley from Adelaide. That's where he came from to Charlestown at the start of this season. Leading the defensive line at the back for them.
Yeah, Ben, talking to Shane Price, obviously before the start of the game. Yeah, he felt like all the pressure's on Hamilton tonight. He's got a youthful side in there. And, ultimately, if they make the 4 this year, that's like a big achievement for Azuri. Where Olympic, they won't be pushing for the minor.
Here's Bertos playing it wide to Swan. That top 4 looking very interesting at the moment. We'll talk about that in just a sec as Leo Bertos brings it back to Hodges. Maitland just struggling to win at the moment. They're just sitting on that 4th spot. 16 points. The top 3 are starting to gap the rest of the field. Broadmeadow on 22 points. 6 points clear as Lehman dives in on Hodges and wins the free kick. A little bit of push and shove there between Bertos and Lehman.
Just on Leo Bertos, I've noted he's playing like a deep midfield role just in front of the 4. He's getting on the ball up, playing some short passes, getting the ball moving. I think he's going to be have a bit of an effect on this game tonight.
He didn't play the FFA Cup match against Lambton, Leo Bertos. Grant Brown didn't as well, and that was because Grant Brown had previously played in the FFA Cup for Lambton. Leo Bertos was at a coaching course, so a couple of big losses there at the back for Hamilton on that night against on that day, against Lambton. Here is Grant Brown on the ball. A couple of switches between Hamilton and Lambton. Pat Brown today announced that he would be playing for Lambton for the rest of the season. Round 13 will be when he starts. The ball played through wide for Elkington. Matt Swan getting back and doing the defensive work. Nicely done there from Matt Swan. Now Ferguson turning. Swan again there. Now down the line, looking for Goodchild. McSorley getting back and plays it to Archbold. Those round 12 matches this weekend, so those players that have switched clubs will not be eligible to play for their new club until round 13, as per the rules. As Bertos sliding inside a few defenders and then getting taken down by Jared Johnson on the edge of the area. Good spot.
Again, Bertos picking the ball up in that deep midfield role. He's picked it up a few times now. He's been quite free. I think he's going to be, like I said before, having a big effect on this game once the rhythm of the game starts to flow.
So Leo Bertos. Close enough range for him. 4-man wall of Charlestown in front of him. As Bertos just hits that one a little bit too hard and high and over, and just a goal kick for Nathan Archbold.
Yeah, I think Leo will be a little bit disappointed in himself there. He was at a good angle, probably could have dipped it over, or even played a short one to the left to Andrew Swan. Just from the first 10 minutes of the game, it's been quite intense, hasn't it, Ben? It's going from one. It's sort of been a little bit open, going from one end to the other. We just need one side to get the foot on the ball, start knocking around, get into a rhythm, and then start going through their patterns of play.
These Charlestown youngsters, some of them out there with a point to prove to their coach, Shane Price, a great opportunity for them. And There's so much energy out there from Charlestown so far. It's great to see from those younger guys. As we mentioned, 4 out tonight. Salini, Hughes, Maguire and Ryan Frame as well. A few goals in that as well. Ben Hughes with 3 this year. Ryan Frame with 1. There's now Ferguson playing it wide towards Elkington. And I go over the sideline.
And I do apologise. I forgot to mention their leading goal scorer, Scott Smith. He's out injured tonight as well. So he's a massive loss.
4 goals from him. Scott Smith this season. Scored 5 last season. Josh Maguire, I should say, out with a groin injury tonight, and he has grabbed a goal as well. A great free kick against Broadmeadow Magic. As here's Tommy Spencer, stabbing one over the top for Goodchild. Still Goodchild, wide of the 18 now. Plays it back towards Spencer in the middle. Spencer with a chance. Good blocking. Cooper bounces back up for Reese Cooper, who makes it 1-0.
Great finish by Cooper. Had to compose himself and place it in the corner. But Goodchild did brilliantly just to place the ball into Spencer. Spencer was unlucky, but Reese Cooper finished it well, very well.
It was good defensive work on Spencer there, but the ball just sat up nicely for Reese Cooper. Another goal for him this season. That's 4 for the season for Reese Cooper. 2 matches in his last 3 games for Olympic. Scored that goal against Maitland a couple of weeks ago.
I think Charlestown just need to be careful here. They've got a young squad. They've started quite well, but a goal down. They just need to be a bit careful, get back into the game, keep showing the enthusiasm, just tighten up in defence and get their shape back into gear.
So Edgeworth with a 1-0 lead against Adamstown and 0-0 up at Western. Lambton and Western doing battle up at Rockwell Automation Park tonight, and 1-0 here. So Hamilton responding to Edgeworth's lead at home at Jack McLaughlin tonight. It'll be Sam Hudson. It's not going to be Sam Hudson. It's going to be Todd McSorley to take the free kick. Edgeworth a point ahead at the top of the ladder after Olympic draw on the weekend. There's Lehman. Goes to Johnson. Lovely touch on to Kajiln. Still Johnson. He tries his luck. Danny Island. Oh, parried the first. He got a lot of power behind that, Jared Johnson. More than Danny Island thought. And now Danny Island just having a few words to Rain Ferguson, who almost put it in.
Yeah, Ferguson did well there. I think he got Danny... sorry, not Ferguson. Jared Johnson did well there. I think he got Danny Allen by surprise. Great little shot. And Reen Ferguson was unlucky with the follow-up. So I think it was worth him going in for the challenge.
There's now Bird, and Danny Island was not impressed at all with the treatment Reen Ferguson gave him after he fumbled it. Thought it was fair game. If you parry the ball, bounces up, have a shot at it.
Yeah, it was hard to see from this angle, but the ball was there to be won. So I don't know if Reem went in with a foot or anything on Danny while he had the ball, but yeah, it's sort of fair game when the ball sort of bobbled up. But that was well done by Charlestown. They're keeping pressure on Olympic here.
Here's Swan. Just playing it through, but just something you notice from the sideline. There's so much talk out there from Charlestown as well. Reen Ferguson up front, saying plenty to his younger teammates, and Todd McSorley as well at the back. Got plenty of experience helping out the younger side.
Yeah, as I said before, this is probably the first match where both teams have been really talking. There's a lot of enthusiasm out there and both sides are desperate, so it's really noticeable from the sideline here.
Archbold looked long, but Grant Brown with the header away. Now Bailey to Spencer. And Tommy Spencer brings it to Leo Burtos, who brings it to Daniel Bird. And Daniel Bird lucky not to have missed this game with a red card after his confrontation with Dane Paulick in the match against Adamstown on the weekend. A little bit involved in that on Sunday, but a feeling in that one. Todd McSorley looking across the ground for Elkington. Matt Swan, I should say, is there to intercept. Gillen goes back to Hudson. Goes to Elkington. Elkington across the ground. Back to Johnson. Now Grant Brown playing it towards Goodchild. He cuts into side. Billy Gibbons goes down. But he's taken wide, Kane Goodchild. And over for a Hamilton throw.
That was well defended by Grant Brown and releasing Goodchild then. It was well played.
And now Spencer evades his marker. Gets into the 18, Tommy Spencer. And then Sam Hudson just gets back and picks his pocket. And it's over for a corner for Hamilton.
Yeah, I think if Tommy Spencer had his time again, he would have crossed that right foot. He had time, but he tried to put it back on his favourite left foot and it was taken. It was tackled.
We mentioned Hamilton's match on the weekend, that 1-1 draw with Adamstown, but Charlestown, they went down 4-0 to the Jets Youth. Disappointing for them after they beat them 5-2 earlier in the season. This ball comes back for Burtos. Now Grant Brown. Chipping it over the top, and Reen Ferguson again with the header away. Kyle Hodges. Charlestown just won one of the last 6 between these two sides. Back in 2014, it was here at Darling Street. They won that one 1-0. So they're going to have to get a couple more tonight if they are to win this one. This is played through for Reen Ferguson. Just lost possession of Bird. He goes back to Danny Ireland. Reen Ferguson putting the pressure on him, but Ireland gets his clearance away. McSorley in the air wins the ball. He's great in the air, Todd McSorley. Now Goodchild. Back to Spencer. Over the top for Reece Cooper. We know his pace, and Nathan Archbold right on the edge of his area. Didn't have much room to move there.
That was well played by Hamilton. It was a great forward run by Reece Cooper, which put Charlestown's defence under pressure.
We tick towards the 19th minute mark. It sits up for Spencer. Spencer one-on-one with Archbold, and Tommy Spencer got right under that one. What an opportunity that was for Hamilton.
Great opportunity for Spencer. And you know what? If Olympic go 2-0 up here, you know, it's a lot harder for the young boys. I was talking to Michael Bosch. They scored an early goal last week against Adamstown. Could have made it 2. But unfortunately for them, they didn't. And Adamstown climbed their way back into the game.
And probably the better chances of the second half, Rosebuds there. Some good chances late for them. And Danny Ireland with some brilliant saves. Up goes Ferguson with the header. It comes back for Lehman. Just over 19 and a half minutes gone at Darling Street tonight. Live here on Bar TV. Brought to you by Top Better. Get in the game with Top Better, our major broadcast sponsor for all the winter codes on Bar TV this year. Great to have them on board this season. And Das Hundhaus, our man of the match sponsor, will come up with a man of the match tonight. Damien will for this one. And just a reminder, Sunday, the match of the round this week, it's here at Darling Street, Hamilton up against Lambton. Daniel Harara will be in commentary with Damien, and Chris Turner will be back again for that one. Their third match this season, those two sides. Hamilton with one win, the 3-0 win at Arthur Eden early this season. Lambton with the win in the FFA Cup. So we'll see who can win the best of 3 on Sunday. I'm sure there'll be plenty of energy and feeling in that one. Joe Wheelhouse won't be playing though, out with a calf injury. A couple of weeks is what James Pascoe said. So Reece Cooper playing it wide now to Goodchild, just keeping it inside the line. Andy Kajiln almost won it back for Charlestown. He did, but it went over the sideline.
What I'm liking about Olympic at the moment, when they do get the ball, they play it nice and quick. They play forward. Here we go again.
Good tackle there from Logvitz on Kane Goodchild. McSorley, plenty of time for him. Goes up for Kajiln, who's playing more centrally tonight. Andy Kajiln, he's been playing on the right a lot this season, but more in a central role tonight. And Leo Burtos wants to take it quickly. Goes wide to Matt Swan. Back to Burtos. Trying to look through for Spencer, but Reen Ferguson read it well, and a chance for Charlestown to break Kajiln. He's got plenty of pace. And Grant Brown came out, but he played it wide to Lehman. Andrew Swan coming across to diffuse the situation, but Lehman, he goes back to Johnson, who puts it into the area. And it's headed over Reen Ferguson's put it over, and it's going to just be the goal kick for Danny Island.
Yeah, I'm really liking Charlestown enthusiasm here. Like, they're putting a lot of pressure on the ball. When they lose it, everyone gets behind the ball, like Shane Price said at the start of the game. Defence is a key tonight. Even though they're 1-0 down, they're well and truly in this match. However, Olympic, when they do get the ball, they look to play forward. Nice link-up play with a good child up front. And they're three central players. So I think for Azuri, they need to really shut down those three players.
And as you said, Damien, you just sense Charlestown don't get the second goal. They're going to find it pretty tough tonight. So they just need the second goal of this one. McSorley goes back to Nathan Archbold. Looks long for Reen Ferguson, but Kyle Hodges read the situation beautifully and came out. Jacob Bailey looking across to Bird. He just didn't find his man. And over the sideline, Charlestown with the throw. Logwitz coming over to take it. Come up from the Central Coast to play for Charlestown. Jaden Logwitz, the number 12 for the Blues. Cajon plays it up and over the top. Hodges. Good defence at the back. Lehman. Shown no ill effects of that injury, which put him in doubt for tonight's match, Kyle Hodges. And now wide for Elkington. Difference in stature between him and Andrew Swan on that, and Matt Swan on that far side. Quite incredible. And Elkington with the throw. Looks for Ferguson, who lets it run on. Grant Brown getting back to do the defensive work, and then Johnson with a long-range shot. Nowhere near the target.
Looking at both sides' lineups and looking at the way they've been playing, a lot of times they're going through the centre of the park. There's 6 midfielders in there, 3 from each side. So if I was either team, I'd start to use the width. It's a small pitch. Use the width. Play to the wide plays. Try and create some one-on-ones. I think that's where the danger could be for both sides.
Danny Island up, and Gibbons won it. And Lehman just kept it inside, but felt too much on that one. And Danny Island in his own 18-yard box. We know his experience playing in Coventry professionally in 2008 in the English League system, and then for Lambton playing in their 2014 Grand Final win before moving to Hamilton last season. It's a good child. A lovely back heel to Spencer, and looking towards the middle, he just didn't get enough hook on that one, Tommy Spencer.
That's where Olympic are dangerous. These forward runs from the likes of Tommy Spencer, Jacob Bailey, even Reece Cooper, they're the key. That forward run by Tommy Spence allowed Goodchild to hurl the ball in and beyond the back three of Missouri, creating a chance for Spence.
Nathan Archbold, Broadmeadows keeper last season. Wasn't sure if he was going to be hanging around this season, Nathan Archbold, so Broadmeadow brought in Nick Hartnett to the first grade lineup, and Nathan Archbold did come back and sign with Charlestown. Looking up, surely a handball, and is from Andrew Swan. Free kick in a good attacking territory for Charlestown. Hamilton probably just marginally with the better of the territory in the game. And Jared Johnson. Surely looking for Reen Ferguson in the box. Headed away, and Tommy Spencer. Back to Andrew Swan. Goes down the middle of the park. Hudson unable to get his head to that one, and Reece Cooper away down the far side of the ground. Still Reece Cooper. He decides to have a shot off the back of Elkington. And Hudson off the side of his boot, the clearance, and a throw for Hamilton.
Good pressure by Charlestown, forcing Olympic to play it long, which creates a 50-50 chance up the top. So, yeah, a lot better defensive display by Charlestown today.
Gillen going down. Charlestown bench appealing for a yellow card. Not given. And Reen Ferguson having a little chat to Andrew Digby, a referee for this evening. That's going to be Todd McSorley. Looks long into Reese Cooper. Deflection down and really reduced the impact of the free kick. And now Ferguson with a lovely turn. He goes down. Burtos taking him down. And now Andrew Swan on the ball. There's plenty of feeling in this game. Charlestown.
Yeah, great pressure on the ball from Charlestown. Really putting the Olympic players under pressure, making them make a decision whether to pass the ball.
Reese Cooper towards the middle. Good child with the header. And Archbold with a fantastic save down low. The big man. It's tough to get down low, but good child you thought there. Got plenty of height. He's got a lot of height on Billy Gibbons there at the back. Good child won that aerial battle, but dodged a bullet there, Charlestown. There's Logwitz with a bump on Bird, and now Reese Cooper again towards the middle of the ground. Lovely touch on towards Spencer, just a little bit heavy.
He's been dangerous and good in the first 25 minutes or so for Reese Cooper. He's making forward runs. He's causing Missouri a few problems at the back here.
You can see why he's played with the Jets youth in the past, Reese Cooper. 2012 he was there. Spencer. Swan, and now Burtos in the centre circle. He goes across to Matt Swan. And Burtos goes back to Brown. Plays it straight to Hudson. Another error there from Sam Hudson. Now it runs off to Reese Cooper, who finds Goodchild down the right. Probably disadvantaged that he's playing the cross, but Spencer with the header. And it's 2-0 to Hamilton. Well, Damien, I was thinking it's going to be a disadvantage, Goodchild, with the cross in, but Tommy Spencer equally as good, and he makes it 2.
Yeah, that came from a mistake by one of the, I forget who it was, one of the Charlestown players who just misread the ball. Cooper won it, played the ball in for Goodchild, and Goodchild's cross was superb for Tommy Spencer to head home. 2-0 to Olympic. Probably, it's been a pretty tight game so far, so, yeah.
With Sam Hudson, just the ball, unable to control it. Down that back left corner for Charlestown. And Goodchild went away and put in the cross.
Yeah, Shane Price said some of the goals over the past 4 weeks have been individual errors. And unfortunately for Sam Hudson, that came from a slight error for him, which allowed Goodchild or Reese Cooper to win the ball and Goodchild to run beyond, which created the goal for Spencer. So
it's 19 goals now in their last 4 and a bit matches for Charlestown. Just incredible how fast it's changed from a start to the season where they were conceding just a goal a game. And it's going to be Charlestown free kick just inside the line on the far side of the ground. Lambton with a 2-0 lead at Western after 32 minutes. And this one straight into the palms of Danny Ireland. Goes long and Logwitz can't control this time, and Kane Goodchild away down the left. Goes towards the middle and McSorley gets back. But just some errors at the back here at the moment, costing Charlestown on each flank.
Yeah, I think Shane Price will be pretty happy with the staff, bar the individual errors. They've been full of enthusiasm. They put a lot of pressure on the ball. They've created a few chances themselves, but unfortunately just a few key little individual errors have cost Missouri at the Charlestown at the moment.
Here's Burtos whipping it in. Archbold with the punch. Burtos will get there first. Back in towards the middle, and Dan Lehman with a good header away. Now Kajiln. Essentially looking for Purcell, but Daniel Bird on the ball. All the way back to Hodges. Now Danny Ireland. Grant Brown. So Hamilton just slowing things down for the moment while they launch their next attack, and Andrew Swan's ball intercepted by Lehman, who turns straight into Daniel Bird, who nicked the ball and played it to Jacob Bailey. Bailey playing it through for Spencer. Should run this down inside the line. He plays it towards Cooper in the middle, and good defensive work from Gibbons.
Combination again of Bird and Bales and Spencer, the 3 central players, are working very well together. What I like just prior to that, Cole Hodges telling the boys to slow the ball down, try and hold possession. They don't need to play it forward all the time.
Burtos in towards the middle, Goodchild rising. Now back for Matt Swan, who had a go and sliced that one and didn't add to his goal tally for Hamilton. Hasn't scored this season. Limited game time. 11 for Hamilton Olympic and 3 goals last season for Matt Swan.
Unfortunately for Matt Swan, it looked like he was looking at the moon before the ball came to him. So, he just whacked his foot at that. So,
obviously doesn't feel the cold as much as his brother Andrew on the left, who's wearing a long sleeve top tonight, showing the cold. And now Gibbons clears it up the line and over the sideline for a Hamilton throw. A few Hamilton players with the long sleeve shirts on tonight. Jacob Bailey and Leo Burtos as well. And there is Burtos towards Bailey. And Bailey getting pulled off the ball by Lehman, but no free kick given. Lehman back to Hudson. Little touch to Kajilnu. Looking over that far side for Elkington. Just couldn't get enough on the header, and Hudson clearing it away. Up towards Bailey, who wins it in the air, and Goodchild so strong again. Plays it through for Reece Cooper. Cooper with the shot. Archbold can't get hands to it. And Reece Cooper, he's on the score sheet again, and it's 3-0.
that is Goodchild at his best. The way he held the ball up, he turned, he dropped off the defenders, gave himself a bit of room, able to turn, and a great ball in for Reece Cooper, and well finished by Reece Cooper. He's been everywhere today, Reece Cooper. He's been very impressive. Just on this game, I forgot to mention before, there is 4 players playing for Hamilton who are ex-Azzurri players. That's why there's probably a bit of heat in this game at the moment, Ben. Goodchild, Matt and Andrew Swan, and Daniel Bird, all ex-Charlestown players. I do have to apologise. I keep calling Charlestown Azzurri from my old coaching days, so I do apologise.
I'm sure everyone understands. As I haven't been doing the competition for that long, I wasn't doing much when they were called Azzurri, so it's easy enough for me to call them Charlestown. But I understand when you've been calling something, when you've been calling someone a name for so long and then have to change that. It must be hard for you, Damien.
Yeah, I played a few of my...
We'll just see Bailey. We'll come back to Damien in a sec as Jacob Bailey towards the middle. Story about his junior days. 3-0 tonight. Hamilton leading Charlestown. This one going long towards Lehman, who controls again. He's strong in the air down Lehman, holding off Burtos and winning the free kick.
Yeah, I played a few of my junior years, 14s and 15s at Azzurri, under the famous coach Shane Tull. So I had a great old time at Azzurri. It's a very good club, Italian background. So.
And Shane was featuring in the interview with Pete Jolly. Story about the Charlestown club. Just great to see last week. This header up and over the top. Grant Brown looks skyward with his clearance. Swan goes up. His header across to the sideline. And Bird unable to keep it in for Hamilton. Logwitz with the throw. Goes in to Lehman. Across the 18-yard box, and he turns it over to Burtos. Just that final third. Hamilton just winning the ball off Charlestown 9 times out of 10 at the moment. As Spencer playing it through for Goodchild. He's got Reece Cooper looming up on his right, and Cooper again looking for a hat-trick. He goes towards Bird at the back post. Unselfish play there from Reece Cooper.
Yeah, very well played. Their transition, Olympics transition's very good. They move the ball quick, they get forward runners quick, and they open up the Charlestown defence. Olympic again, very unlucky.
.36 gone, first half. Whipped in towards the back post from Burtos, and Swan with the header away. Sits back for Bailey on the volley. Well blocked by Logwitz, and now with Hudson with a toe in and over the sideline. Still this pressure being applied by Hamilton. Swan with the throw. Spencer with no one around him there and runs back. Gibbons lets it run back to Archbold, but just finding Damien at times, Tommy Spencer and Kane Goodchild, they've just got no one on them. And they're just finding it too easy to find space in the last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, they're smart players. What they do, Charlestown's got a back three which is just staying there. They're not following them into the space. So they're just dropping into the pockets where the space is, able to turn, and they can have link-up plays, which is very smart of them. And here they go again.
Here's Spencer with that space we spoke about. Plays in Bird down the left. Wouldn't he love to get a goal against his former club as he plays it to Bertos. Little 1-2. Back to Bird, goes down. Certain penalty. Logvitz taking him down. I don't think you get a much clearer penalty than that, Damien.
Again, Leo Bertos, he's been everywhere tonight. He's been linking up with all players. There he was with Bird. A nice 1-2 through. Bird on goal, but Logvitz took him out. So it looks like a penalty to Leo Bertos.
Four goals this season for Leo Bertos. His first season in the NPL. Can he make it 5? He puts it in the top left corner. And it's 4-0 now to Hamilton. And just those other scores. Western have got a goal. I'm not sure whether it's a penalty or from open play, but it's 2-1. Lambton over Western. Good to see Western get on the score sheet. And Edgeworth leading 1-0 against Adamstown. It's been a long time between drinks for Western. Just their 6th goal of the season in that one.
I said before, Charlestown just need to be a little bit careful here. Young squad, probably lacking a little bit of confidence now, being 4-0 down. But in saying that, their first half, they showed a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of heart, but just some individual errors. So Shane Props will try and get them revved up again at half-time and hopefully have a better second half.
I don't want to let this get any worse here. Charlestown is good child again with that space we spoke about. Spencer. And Daniel Bird setting up the penalty or winning the penalty.
Charlestown have got 3 at the back here and 1 on Goodchild. One of those 3 have to follow Goodchild into that pocket where he's picking up the ball. Otherwise, he's going to be turning all day and causing havoc.
Here's Elkington over the left for Charlestown. The only thing really they've created of note was Jared Johnson's shot, which stung the palms of Danny Ireland. Kyle Hodges with the sweeping clearance up towards Reese Cooper, who's caused havoc tonight for Charlestown backline. Been plenty of goals in the opening half at Darling Street tonight, but they've all been one way, and it's Matt Swan with the throw down the line. And over for a Charlestown throw. Seen a couple of games like this season at Darling Street, Damien. It seems Hamilton seem to bring out their best when we come to watch. They beat the Jets 5-0. Magic 3-1. Had some dominant displays here at Darling Street this season.
Yeah, Hamilton love playing here. It's a little bit of a smaller pitch. They know how to play the pitch. Plus, also, I don't know, it's a good little atmosphere at this ground. And obviously they love playing at home. And most coaches want to make their home ground a fortress, which Olympic have done this season.
Do you think, I'm just interested, Damien, as we see the free kick go the way of Olympic, do they find that a disadvantage when they go away from home for grand finals and that sort of thing?
Not necessarily, but for some of the bigger guys and less mobile guys, this pitch suits down to a tree rather than playing on a massive pitch and against younger, more mobile players. So that's why you'll find Olympic will always do well at Olympic and always have. But in saying that, they've got some young mobile players in their side at the moment, and I think they're going to be very dangerous and they're going to give this title a real shot.
Here's Daniel Bird down the left edge again. Todd McSorley trying to hold him out of the 18. He goes back to Spencer. Spencer towards Jacob Bailey, and Archbold got out and made a good save for the Blues. They've lost just 3 of their last 31 PlayStation 4 NPL Northern New South Wales matches. Hamilton, just 3. Maitland and 2 to Edgeworth, and that loss, they've just lost to 1 here at Darling Street towards the middle, and that loss was against Maitland. I tell you what, it's going to be very interesting when Edgeworth come here to play against Hamilton Olympic in a couple of weeks' time. Very, very interesting match. Sam Hudson towards Johnson. Unfortunately, I'll be away, but gee, that will be an absolute cracker here at Darling Street. Hamilton loving their home surface, and Edgeworth currently at the top of the ladder as it stands, as McSorley goes back to Archbold. Archbold with a clearance. Good shot was coming, and now Daniel Bird intercepts the clearance away, but just couldn't control. Logvitz under pressure from Bird, going in hard, Daniel Bird. Logvitz back to Gibbons. Now Goodchild, lovely touch on to Spencer. Spencer with a left foot shot. Just couldn't keep it down.
Yes, I agree with you there, Ben. The game against Hamilton versus Edgeworth at this ground in a few weeks is going to be very exciting. At the moment, looking at the table, it looks like it's going to be a 3-horse race for that to cross the line first. So results against the top 3 sides against each other is going to be crucial. What I've seen so far in the comp, I think Edgeworth's just got a slight edge on the other 2 teams, the Magic and Olympic, so it's up to them 2 teams to chase them down.
I think that 4th spot, Charlestown, a loss tonight. A loss tonight won't hurt their quest for that 4th spot too much, because they have played 1 less match than Maitland, who are 2 points clear of them. As here's Purcell running on, Lehman going down, and Charlestown with a free kick in good position here. Unfortunately, Josh Maguire, their free kick specialist, not on hand this evening. It's going to be Rain Ferguson on his left boot. I'll stand over this one for Charlestown. Todd McSorley there as well. And Jared Johnson. Who do you think it's going to be here, Damien?
I think this is up Jared's alley. He's very dangerous at this.
It's going to be Todd McSorley leaving it for Johnson. Straight into the wall. Thundering it into the wall, Jared Johnson. And Bailey sends Bird off down this near side of the ground. 3 Charlestown players coming across, and Lehman. There's Spencer. And Charlestown win the free kick. Now Goodchild has copped the free kick against him. He did nothing there, actually. He actually, I was watching that, and Goodchild's going, what have I done there? The referee actually, Charlestown players dived in to head it over the sideline, and Andrew Digby thought Goodchild gave him a nudge.
Yeah, it looked like, from my angle, looked like he just gave him the slightest nudge. But I think Andrew Digby's, what I've seen this year, Andrew Digby's been a standout ref in the comp so far. He's let games flow, hasn't been much controversy, and yeah, he's been very impressive this year on the side, in the middle.
I'll have to have a look back at that later, see if there was a little nudge there from Kane Goodchild. He's an experienced player. Faintest little nudge. As here is Swan with the header towards that man Goodchild. Taps it off for Spencer. Having a field day at the moment, Goodchild and Spencer. Reese Cooper as well, and Daniel Bird up the front for Hamilton Olympic. Man at the back doing a good job for them as well, as Logvitz plays it to Ferguson, whose touch was a bit heavy. Pushes off Bailey. And Ferguson. And that is half time. No stoppage time in the first half. And it's been a dominant display in the first 45 from Hamilton Olympic. They lead 4-0 over Charlestown City Blues. In the other matches, Edgeworth leading 1-0 against Adamstown at Jack McLaughlin Oval. And at Western, it is Western down 2-1 against the Lambton Jaffers. 2 young sides doing battle there. But Damien, what were your thoughts on the opening 45 here tonight?
I think from my point of view, Hamilton obviously going to be very happy being 4-0 up. I think they've played really well. Some of the link-up plays between Tommy Spence, Jacob Bailey, Leo Bertos in the centre of the park, and with Reese Cooper and Daniel Berg going forward have been excellent. Especially, and also Kane Goodchild, dropping into the pocket, able to turn and play some of his midfield who are making forward runs, have been very dangerous. For Azzurri, and obviously being 4-0 up, for Azzurri, Shane Price, he's got 3 guys who are doing their starting debut tonight. And you know what? Enthusiasm. They've worked very hard in defence. There's just been some crucial individual errors, especially at the back, which has cost them some goals. So I think it'd be a little bit, it'll be pleased in a sense that they've worked hard and their work rate. However, they just need to tighten up those little individual errors which are costing them.
And you just look at those goals that have been scored. The first one probably a little unlucky. They got back and defended Tommy Spencer. Ball sat up nicely for Reese Cooper there to put it in. But then the other couple of goals, they were just letting Reese Cooper get away for that second goal, and then and then Tommy Spencer with the header as well, and then the penalty, of course, just an individual error there.
Yeah, that's right. Even with the penalty, did the defender have to foul him? Unsure, because Daniel Bird still had a fair bit of work to do. So, obviously, Shane Price is going to be disappointed at the scoreline, but he's got a young side out there today, and they're working hard. They're showing enthusiasm. They put a lot of pressure on the ball, causing a few issues for Olympic. However, Olympic's experience and I think overall performance has been very solid.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here at half time. It's Hamilton leading Charlestown by 4-0. Hello and welcome back to Darling Street Oval. Hamilton up against Charlestown. The second half just about to get underway. Hamilton with a 4-0 lead at the break. Reese Cooper with a brace. Tommy Spencer with one and Leo Bertos with one from the spot. Andrew Digby just about to get us underway with Charlestown to kick off in the second half. Damien Smith's just been down to speak to both coaches. And Damien, what did both of them say as we begin to freeze up here?
Yeah, just trying to warm up, Ben. Yes, Michael Bolch was obviously very happy with his first half. He just wants the boys to keep the ball and keep the intensity up with the ball and keep the passes nice and quick. He said, so obviously, and he doesn't want to let Charlestown into the game. So defensively, they want a clean sheet. So, but overall, Mick Bolch has been very happy. Shane Price said, obviously, he was happy with the intensity.
It's already Hamilton on the break in the second half. Spencer playing it through and looking for Cooper, but Charlestown good at the back, and now with Lehman on that far side of the ground. Kajiln turning and dispossessed by Bertos. We'll go back to that, Damien.
Shane Price said obviously individual errors cost them, which we said on the call as well. But he said they're playing for pride in this second half. He said they want try and win the one-on-one individual battles, and let's try and win the second half and see where it takes us.
The ball over the top for Ferguson in the box. He falls over. No penalty given. Thought he went down fairly easily there, Reen Ferguson. Now a little back heel from Kajiln looking for Ferguson. Jared Johnson getting in there as well, but here's Daniel Bird away for Hamilton against his former club. Matt Swan now to Reese Cooper. And Elkington with the tackle. Over the sideline, Charlestown with the throw.
The other thing what Michael Bolch said, with Leo Bertos playing just in front of the top four, he's keeping the structure of the side and they're able to penetrate balls through him and get link-up plays with the midfield, and he's been very happy with that.
Ben Parminguria has come onto the park for Charlestown in the second half. Playing on the left for them. Just try and check who has come off the ground for them. McSorley across to Lehman. There's Lehman looking back for Archbold. May well be Sam Hudson who has come off the ground. Yes, it is Sam Hudson. He's off the ground for Charlestown. Couple of defensive mistakes in the first half as the hook come out.
Yeah, maybe Sam did make a defensive mistake which caused the goal, but I think Shane Price is just working on a different shape, especially defensively, and obviously probably just wants to try a few things, especially being 4-0 down. Got a young, youthful squad side.
Paul's almost sits up for Reen Ferguson there. Almost plenty of luck for Charlestown there at the start of the second half. He just couldn't get on it. Parminguria almost getting on the ball as Bertos goes long for Cooper, and McSorley came over the top of him and gives away the free kick. Bertos across to Matt Swan. Kane Goodchild looking towards the middle. Just getting a boot in. It was Jared Purcell as Reese Cooper towards the sideline and over. Those other scores at the start of the second half, Adamstown and Edgeworth doing battle at Edgeworth, and it's 1-0 to Edgeworth. And at Weston, 2-1. Lambton leading Weston in that one. So two close contests at the other ground as Matt Swan whips it into the middle. McSorley with a boot in. And now Andrew Swan puts it into the side netting. Unfortunately, just this one, Hamilton blazing away in the first half to a 4-0 advantage. It's too much for a young Charlestown side. Just an issue with these midweek games. Sometimes players are unable to play with work commitments and that sort of thing. But some injuries as well for Charlestown, which have hurt them the back half of the season.
Yeah, and there's some big injuries from Charlestown with Maguire, Ben Hughes, Salini, especially in Scott Smith. There's a lot of experience there and there's a lot of goals there, so that's obviously going to hurt him. But it gives an opportunity for these young boys, and I know Shane Price was excited to give these young boys a go. So, and you know what, they're showing a lot of enthusiasm and they're working hard on the ball, but it's just those individual errors, as we keep mentioning. And there's the first yellow card by Andrew Digby.
Rain Ferguson going into the book for the yellow card.
Just on Reen Ferguson, especially having the captain's ban tonight, he's worked really hard. He's caused Olympic a few problems in defence, so he's really trying to put his foot forward with these young boys.
Leading by example out there tonight, Reen Ferguson. There's the ball now wide for Matt Swan. Goes centrally for Spencer, and Bailey's got Daniel Bird unmarked on the far side, but the pass didn't have enough on it, and Lehman goes straight through the middle of the ground. Kajilm coming back. Look at this, 3 and 4 Hamilton players in front of him there. It was almost impossible for him to get through there. Burtos diving in with Kajilm. It sits up for Johnson. Bumped over by Bailey. There's now Matt Swan over the sideline. Bailey coming in and knocking him over. The Charlestown bench. Kyle Hodges has come off the ground thinking that injury. We didn't notice that. Cody Lucas going on.
I noticed Kyle Hodges with about 10 to go in the first half. He was just clutching at his groin. I seen him stretching while a corner was going on, but I just thought it was a stretch. So obviously they've been up 4-0. They don't want to risk him because they've got a big game against Lambton on Sunday.
Sandy Island finds Matt Swan. I was going to say if he was out tonight, it was going to be a big blow for them. So Cody Lucas filled in admirably throughout a few matches when Tom Davies was away and the Swan brothers out injured. So I'm sure he'll be as is Spencer. Great tackle from McSorley. I'm sure Cody Lucas is going to be more than the replacement for Kyle Hodges. There's Nathan Archbold with the goal kick.
Spencer's caused a number of problems for his Charlestown tonight with those forward runs beyond the back three. So it was a great ball in by Bird, and Spencer was unlucky to not to get his second.
Do you think that's the difference between the Hamilton side of last season, the Hamilton 2015 side, and the Hamilton 2016 side? Tommy Spencer. I just think he's so creative in the middle of the park. He's been outstanding for Hamilton this season, and he'll be crucial at the back end of the season, especially in the finals.
Oh, definitely agree, but I think they've got a very good balance, Hamilton, especially with Leo, especially playing in that deep role. It's a good balance, well-structured side, and they're really working well together. They're getting good combinations. Their transition in from defence to attack is very good. So, and look, they've only conceded 6 goals all year, so defensively they've been rock solid. So
here's the ball wide for Reece Cooper. He's caused havoc as well, and Parminga trying to hold him off and gives away the free kick. He had his arm over Reece Cooper there. It's the ball in towards the middle. All defender there by Charlestown. That one has been booted away. That one's gone flying down the straight there. That clearance. That ball won't be coming back in a while, as here it comes back for Burtos. And Bird back to Burtos. Lovely turn from Leo Burtos. Swan. Now cleared away by Parminga. And now Grant Brown with a nice turn to get away from Kajilm. Just coming towards him. Matt Swan to Burtos again. And Elkington trying to get in there, and Bird. Spencer towards the middle. It just took a little deflection and set up for Logvitz. Lays it wide, and Swan's there to intercept it. Then it came back to Logvitz and gave it back to Hamilton through Burtos. And this ball intercepted by Lehman. Kajilm with a lovely touch onto Lehman, who's away down the right-hand side. Towards the middle, and Burtos getting up and blocking it over for a Charlestown corner.
Yeah, just a rare mistake from Burdos there, which got an interception from Charlestown, which was played out to
Dan Lehman down the right-hand side.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so that was good play by Charlestown, just causing a little bit of pressure on the defence of Olympic.
There's the corner towards the back post. Reen Ferguson and Jared Johnson also getting up. They just couldn't get it on target. And Reen Ferguson, yeah, I think head collision in the box. Holding the front of his head, Reen Ferguson. Doesn't look in a good way. Swan, McSorley can't control it. Runs back for Parminguria. There's Brown. Now for Swan. Up the line, Reese Cooper. Parminguria on the ball now for Charlestown. Johnson, the touch through for Ferguson, who stumbled and fell. And now the ball through for Kajilna, who hits the post. Well, no luck for Charlestown on that occasion. Then Danny Ireland gets back and makes the save. And Kajilna's shot striking the base of the upright. As I said, no luck at all there for the Blues.
No luck at all, but it was well played between Jared Johnson and Reen Ferguson. He got a little bit of luck when he turned.
Here's Lehman again down the right-hand side. Over the sideline now. Interesting stat for Charlestown. In all their away matches this season, they have not been held scoreless yet. So the stats say that when Charlestown play away from home, they score goals. They've also conceded in every match away from home, the Blues. There's Johnson towards the middle, towards Kajilna, and now Purcell plays it back for McSorley, who has a shot from distance. Not a bad effort, going over the bar.
Better from Charlestown, better movement off the ball, better. The passing speed was a lot better, but also when they lose the ball, a lot more and quicker pressure on Hamilton's players, causing them for a turnover. So yeah, well played, Azuria. Charlestown, sorry, I think they really started this second half quite well.
There's Lehman. Yeah, Charlestown I was just about to say that. Charlestown with the better of the chance in the second half, and now a free kick given away by Logvitz, who gets the second yellow card of the evening.
Back on Andrew Digby, the referee. He's not a person who sort of hands out cards, Diggers, so obviously he's handed out 2 yellow cards tonight, so the game's getting a little bit feisty at times. So
Tommy Spencer goes back to Bertos and then wide for Andrew Swan. Bertos looking for Spencer. And now Johnson goes back to his keeper, Archbold. Goes up towards Kajilna. There's sense there. Charlestown grabbed a goal. Give him a little bit more energy. I think for tonight's going to be a bridge too far, but there's Reen Ferguson again, getting up there and putting the pressure on Danny Ireland, as he has throughout the evening. Back for Spencer and Parminguria to Johnson. Swan coming in on him and giving the free kick away there, Swan.
Again, the combination between Spence, Goodchild, Bailey, the 2 wide players in Bird and Cooper, plus the deep midfielder Leo Burtis has been excellent for Olympic tonight, and they're the players who are causing Charlestown a lot of problems.
This ball over the top of that far side of the ground, and Daniel Bird letting it run on down towards the corner. It's been held in, played across the face by Purcell there. Should say it was Logvitz who's come all the way up, putting that ball across. And now over the sideline for a Charlestown throw. Danny Ireland's goal has been under a little bit of pressure at the start of the second half, and Simon Mooney is going to come on for Charlestown. I should say Hamilton, and Jacob Bailey's going to come off for Olympic.
Yeah, Jacob Bailey's had another solid game tonight. He plays well on his home ground. He was on the bench last week against Adamstown, so he's fought his way back into the starting side, and he's had a great shift this afternoon. I think Michael Bosch will be probably saving him for the weekend's game against Lambton.
Simon Mooney, creative player is Simon Mooney, and he'll be looking for another goal to add to his season tally tonight. So here's Lehman towards the middle. Good child. He's after Gibbons, who almost bumps him in the back, but Gibbons stays up. And now down the line and over the sideline for Reese Cooper to throw. Goes to Spencer and now back to Swan. Now across for Grant Brown. Simon Mooney, the change for Hamilton. A little bit more creative, you'd say, than Jacob Bailey. Brown has the ball nicked off him. Cajon with the back heel to Ferguson. Surely for Charlestown, Reed Ferguson. And straight at Danny Ireland, who made the save. Grant Brown is in all sorts of trouble in the middle of the ground. Charlestown aren't waiting. There's tackles diving in everywhere. And now Bird away for Hamilton. He plays it to Goodchild. And then McSorley towards the sideline, but Lehman keeps it in. It's all happening tonight at Darling Street. Grant Brown's back up again, limping heavily. And now Swan goes back to Ireland, and Grant Brown is in all sorts of trouble. Well, to be fair, Grant Brown got back up, so Andrew Digby didn't have to stop play. But now he's gone back to ground.
Yeah, I thought Andrew Digby did really well there because the play was both going in attacking directions on either side, so he allowed play to go on. But like you said, to be fair, Grant Brown did get up when he needed to when they were under pressure. So, sorry, I missed the collision. I think it was between him and maybe Reed Ferguson, was it? I think. Yeah,
he had the ball nicked off him. It was just trying to remember the play. It was Andy Cajon flying through backheel to Reed Ferguson, who struck his shot straight at Danny Ireland.
Charlestown have been good in this second half. They're unlucky not to get a goal back. So Reed Ferguson just hit the ball at the perfect height for Danny Ireland. So if it was on the ground or either side of him, it could have been a goal for Charlestown. Just back on Simon Mooney, you mentioned the skill and pace of Simon Mooney. Yeah, he's going to be a real threat in this last half hour. I think, especially making forward runs from deep midfield. So once he gets warm, he's going to be a real danger man for Hamilton.
There's Grant Brown coming from the field for Hamilton. So he received treatment, so needs to come off the ground for Olympic. And Reed Ferguson goes back to Danny Ireland. Reed Ferguson just having a chat to Matt Swan in that little break in play. Matt Swan, a former Azuri player, as we mentioned earlier, and Andrew Swan as well. Kyle Hodges for Hamilton. Kane Goodchild as well. So it's great. Had a great season a couple of years ago. 13 goals last season for Hamilton, and an outstanding year for Charlestown the year before. Kane Goodchild. And they finished in 5th spot on the ladder back when there was a top 5 in 2014. And I see it. Bird flying in. And then Jared Johnson has been sent off. Diving in on Daniel Bird. Straight off Jared Johnson. And Damien, what were your thoughts on that? I heard you groan there as that tackle came in.
I was more groaning because I'm in the cold weather here, Ben. But it looked like from where we are, his foot was raised, and you can't have your foot raised when you're going in for a challenge. So obviously Andrew Digby had a closer look at it because he's right on the mark there. But from where we are, 50 yards away, it did look like he slid in with his foot raised, which could have been very dangerous for Daniel Bird if he collected him.
And Jared Johnson going off the ground. And they'll be down to 10 for the rest of the match. Hamilton fans giving him plenty as he went down the tunnel. Back for Reese Cooper. That'll be a huge blow for them. Kane Goodchild, the back post with the header across. And Kane Goodchild. He's there again for Hamilton, and it's 5-0 for the home side.
Again, Leo Burdos, the Reese Cooper to Kane Goodchild. That combination's been going all night, and it's been very dangerous. This time, Goodchild scores his, 13th goal of the year? 11th goal of the year. Unfortunately for Shane Price and the Charlestown team, going 10 men is going to make it very difficult for them to come back, obviously. But up until that stage, I think they sort of had the better of the second half. They were playing well and working very hard.
And that loss of Jared Johnson now, that's going to be huge. One of the more experienced players out there for Charlestown. And just while we had the injury to Grant Brown, Josh Pippin came on, and Jaden Logvitz left the park for Charlestown. There's the throw from Gibbons. And now Ferguson still putting in 100% Rain Ferguson as Ireland goes up the middle. You were thinking Charlestown were probably going to grab a goal, but now down to 10 minutes. Seems like it's going to be a tough ask for them now as Bird towards Mooney, touching on towards Spencer. Good child across, looking for Cooper. And now Ferguson. Can he outpace Grant Brown? Ferguson trips over Brown as he went back to play it to Ireland. There's now Pippin. Across to Elkington. Mooney comes into his back, and now Mooney. A little bump comes together with Pippin and gives away the free kick.
Just back on Rain Ferguson, you have to be impressed with his effort and commitment tonight. He's been captain, he's been 100% committed. The crowd's starting to get a bit vocal in this game as well. So
I haven't had a game with this much feeling in a while, actually, considering the scoreline, 5-0. Sort of takes it out of the game, but it hasn't tonight.
Yeah, well, people are saying it's the old Azzurri boys, Dave. Old Azzurri versus Charlestown. So obviously there's some feeling in the match. I've got a feeling there's going to be a few more. I've got a feeling there's going to be a few more cards dished out tonight for some reason.
You just sensed, probably midway through the first half, there could be a red tonight. We've seen it. Gajilm on the ball now for the Blues. Now Cooper stabbing it through. Pamingara up with the header. And Tim and Mooney both go to ground. No free kick. Andrew Digby lets play go on for Bird now. Charlestown backtracking in defence. Andrew Swan towards the middle of the ground for Spencer. Got a little bump. And now back for Cooper on the shot. Now deflects off Bird and Lehman. Away to Elkington. Lehman again. Cross to Pippin. They've lost a lot of players in the off-season. Charlestown, Daniel Miners and Daniel Bird as well. A lot of their younger players.
Yeah, and Shane Price has done a fabulous job with Azzurri, with their young squad. He's blended some young players tonight. So, he's done a great job with his young players. Like, they're not expected to, win the comp this year, but obviously he just wants to develop players for future years. Just back on Olympic, they've got a choice here. They're up 5-0. They could either knock the ball around, hopefully not get injured, just keep the ball moving, or they go and score goals and goals and goals, which...
Here's Matt Swan sliding into the box and playing it into the side netting. Matt Swan still unable to get on the board. He's had a couple of chances. Damien, I'm just interested, what would you do in this instance?
Looking at the table, the goal difference, Edgeworth's 23 before tonight and Olympics 22. It's going to be very close and very tight. I'd go full throttle ahead. I'd be going for as many goals as possible to try and get the goal difference up as much as possible. So if I was a coach, and I think Michael Balch would agree with me, it's all about trying to get more goals while Charlestown's got 10 players.
The ball over the top from Charlestown, but Grant Brown back to Danny Ireland. So Edgeworth were plus 23 before tonight, and Hamilton were plus 22. So Hamilton at the moment are now plus 27. Edgeworth are plus 24. Because Edgeworth are only up 1-0 at Jack McLaughlin against Adamstown, and Lambton have just scored to go ahead 3-1 against Western. So don't give up. We were talking on the weekend as this ball comes through for Goodchild. He's got Matt Swan back on the inside. Goodchild goes himself. I think it may have just taken the bar. Back for Mooney. Tries to run around Charlestown defender, and it trickles over the sideline.
Yeah, it looks like Hamilton's intentions is to score more goals, which obviously, it's going to help their goal difference if they do. I think there's more goals in this game too.
And Swan to Burtos. Cody Lucas now across to Grant Brown. Who had some space on this right-hand side as Swan back to Cooper. Nice little touch on towards the middle. Mooney going in and Elkington and giving away the free kick. And now Purcell with the free kick for Charlestown. Huminguria now to Elkington. Mooney really didn't get much of Elkington there. Warrant a yellow card. Any further action, I think, there from Digby. I think that was his decision as Spencer just holding up. I'll come back to what Damien thinks in just a sec as Hamilton go on the attack. There's now Swan sliding through the click of shin pads and boots. As now Gibbons goes back to Lehman up the line and over the sideline.
Yeah, Mooney did get him a little bit late, but it wasn't dangerous at all. He sort of just misjudged the ball a little bit, unlike Jared Johnson, who did come in late and also with studs up.
This here is Johnson. Now Lehman. Back for Gibbons for the clearance. Elkington just gets a boot in. And over towards Swan. Goes high into the Black Knight Sky tonight. Reese Cooper with a long-range shot. Gee, that wouldn't have been far off. And now Reen Ferguson looks wide to the right for Kajiln. Turning Cody Lucas around. Kajiln has the pace. Just going to have men in the box here as he goes down. And over for a corner kick for Charlestown.
That was a good switch in transition for Charlestown then with Reen Ferguson and Kajiln. So you never know. They're still working hard. So you never know. Obviously, they're going to try and get a goal. But it's up to Hamilton to keep their clean sheet.
Reen Ferguson instructing his troops to come on down. 63% of Charlestown's goals this season have come away from Lower Car Oval. Away from home matches, I should say, as it comes towards Ferguson and Danny Island with the save. I should say home matches because the Jets youth actually play a technical home match at Lower Car. So 63% of Charlestown's games in there, they're specified home matches. Here's Brown. They're specified away matches, I should say. The throw from Palminguria up the line and Swan with the header. Purcell looking forward. Kajiln and just couldn't get it through to him there. Kajiln just misstepping there.
I noticed Simon Mooney came on for Jacob Bailey, but however he's actually swapped with Reese Cooper. Reese Cooper's moved central, and Mooney has moved wide right.
Here's Andrew Swan now on the ball. Goes across. Down the far side is Burtos. Back to Swan. Towards the middle for Mooney. Little touch on. Palminguria with the clearance away, but only as far as Daniel Bird. Swan again. This is better from him and headed away by McSorley. Strong in the air again. Elkington. And Mooney goes back to Daniel Bird. Bird into the legs of Lehman. Goes to Kajiln in the middle of the park. Kajiln spinning under the tackle from Cooper and he plays it wide to Pippin. Here's Josh Pippin into the 18. He takes on Swan. And Swan takes it over for a corner kick. Dan Lehman to take the corner for Charlestown. They get one back here. This one heavy towards the back post. Pippin back towards the middle. Another corner for Charlestown from the opposite side. $5-0 in this one. 28.5 gone in the second half. Brought to you by Top Better tonight. It's all Bar TV's major broadcast partner for all the winter codes. Great to have them on board. Get in the game with Top Better as Lehman's cross has gone, corner I should say, has gone out before it's come back in again. And it will be a Hamilton goal kick. Just relieving the pressure there for Olympic.
Just noted that Hamilton's intensity's probably dropped off the last few minutes. They were putting a lot of pressure on Azuri trying to get more goals, but however, it's just dropped off the last few minutes, and Charlestown's actually picked up a little bit. So next 15 minutes, be interesting how it folds out.
I'm just thinking, Charlestown going to the 10 men, is that sort of part of the reason you think that they have just taken their foot off the gas a bit as McSorley goes back to Nathan Archbold? Goes over the sideline.
Yeah, maybe, but there's also been a bit of stop-start, so obviously players are standing around getting a little bit colder as well. So
back for Tommy Spencer. Wide to Andrew Swan. A little touch on from Spencer, looking for Swan to go through.
Spencer's been good again tonight, linking up with all the players from that deep midfield role.
There he is again, Spencer. Back for Goodchild. Little touch over the top. Gibbons. Now cleared away, Elkington. Back wide to Lehman and now Archbold. And Cody Lucas is came on at half-time in this one for Hamilton Olympics captain Kyle Hodges. And over the sideline now for an Olympic throw. Burtos. Cross to Andrew Swan. Towards middle ground for Goodchild, who's taking the armband in the second half. Kane Goodchild, the captain, and Matt Swan surges onto the ball. He's got Mooney outside him. He goes to Simon Mooney. Mooney towards the middle. Very, very heavy cross. Daniel Bird will run that one down. For Andrew Swan again. Steps away from Elkington this time. Goes to Burtos. Reen Ferguson brings it away for Charlestown now on the break. Purcell. Two Hamilton defenders. He's got to get past there in Leo Burtos and Grant Brown. And just too much pressure there.
Yeah, very good pressure by Hamilton, causing the turnover. I think Hamilton's just stepped up the gear again, try and finish the last 15 minutes in style. What I like what Mick Bolch has done is he's moved Burdos in that deep midfield role. He's really holding the shape for Hamilton, and he's the linchpin between all the plays.
Here's a ball from Mooney towards Daniel Bird. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. He did it the wrong way, and Bird goes back and recovers. Finds Cooper. He's had a couple of shots in the second half as Reece Cooper. Is he going to have another go? Now Swan. It's Olympic. Haven't scored 6 this season. They've scored 5 against the Jets youth here at Darling Street. 5-0 win there. There's now back for Cooper. He goes down in the box. And it runs to Archbold. Charlestown bring it out from the back. For Lehman. Elkington. Now Palmingara. It's been allowed some space here by Hamilton. Just sitting back a little deeper. McSorley. Across the ground for Lehman now. Just keeps it inside on that far side of the ground. Swan. They've turned it over. With Spencer and Burtos and Cooper now. Lovely ball through for Andrew Swan towards the middle of the ground and just cleared away in time by the Charlestown defence. Back for Cody Lucas. And he puts one in towards the box. Goodchild goes back and controls it nicely. Kane Goodchild. Already got one tonight. Swan towards the middle. Sits up for Spencer. Just an offside there against Hamilton. Unable to get the 6th of the evening.
Yeah, better from Hamilton. Their intention is lift up. They're starting to play a few short passes, a few overlapping runs, which is causing Charlestown a few problems. I think there's going to be at least another goal in this, I think, Ben.
It's Archbold with a goal kick. Those goals tonight. The first one, Reece Cooper. It sat up after Tommy Spencer's shot was blocked. And then Tommy Spencer with a header. Reece Cooper with another. A penalty to Leo Burtos. And then Kane Goodchild with the 5th in the second half. It's now Bird across the ground. Mooney spinning and turning and shooting and getting right under that one and over for a goal kick. We'll just check the scores at the other grounds quickly. Damien, it was Edgeworth with a 1-0 lead over Adamstown. That was the last score we have, but it's 2-0 now to the Eagles. But Adamstown have made it hard for them. Really improved the last couple of weeks, Adamstown. Lambton with a 3-1 lead over Western. And 5-0. It was 4-0 at the break. As Charlestown make their final change. Yes, Josh Pippin. Shouldn't say Josh Pippin that's gone off. It's Ben Coyner going on now for Hamilton Olympic. Matt Swan off.
Placement in the Charlestown team. Number 11, Chris Cook has come on the field.
Chris Cook, the man on for Charlestown. And as there is Spencer up the ground towards Goodchild. And there's Coyner with a little head on already. Wide for Mooney, and Digby's given the free kick Charlestown's way inside the final 10 minutes here tonight on Bar TV.
Yeah, Mick Bolt's changed. I think he's just trying to wrap this game up. He brought off Matthew Swan and has brought Leo Burdos back to right fullback. I think Matt Swan's he's been carrying a few injuries this year, so probably just giving him a rest for the weekend. And he's brought on Benny Coyner in the middle of the park, and he's got goals in him as well. Just with Hamilton, if I was Mick Bolch, I'd be getting their side to spread really wide and make the 10 Azuri Charlestown men run around, because they're starting to get really tired, but I'd sort of spread them even further.
Here's Bird towards the middle for Goodchild. Goodchild now back for Cooper with a shot, and Reese Cooper just over. He's had some very, very nice shots from outside the box again this evening, Reese Cooper. He scored 2.
Scored 2, could have had another one. He's been very good tonight, Reese Cooper. Yeah, as I was saying, if I was Hamilton, I'd really spread the game. Let the young Zuri legs chase them all around. They've only got 10 players. Wear them out, because they're starting to look tired already.
Archibald up towards Ferguson. Now Reese Cooper this time touching it onto Kajiln. Goes to Cook. Cook taking it down this near side. Bursos comes across. Nicks it off him. Sure, it'd be a great opportunity for Chris Cook in the 11 for Charlestown. Going up against Leo Burtos. Probably doesn't get much tougher. There's Bird with the throw. Hamilton given the throw. And now Bird towards the middle of the box. Goodchild sits it back up for Ben Coyner, who is running through. And now Kajiln. And Chris Cook back to Archbold. It's right under that one. That throw there, Damien.
Yeah, Daniel Bird pulled a Houdini there, persuading Andrew Digby that the throw was theirs. I'm pretty sure he kicked it out himself, but he ran over and quickly got the ball, acted like it was there throwing, and just kept playing on, and he filled Andrew Digby quite well.
The Charlestown bench went up for not the first time this evening. It's been a tough night for them. Again, 5 losses it'll be in a row after this one. I think the thing you've got to remember in those 5 losses is 3 matches against the top 3. Broadmeadow Magic, Hamilton Olympic, and Edgeworth. Doesn't get much tougher. Those other 2, Valentine had a 3-2 loss. And then on the weekend, the Jets Youth. I honestly, you look at those, it's going to be 5 losses, Damien, tonight. I think the one loss that they'll probably be a little disappointed with is that Valentine. The 3-2 loss was a tight match at Blacksmith's Oval. Probably disappointed they just couldn't. They had a 1-0 lead, just couldn't hold on. But those 4 other losses, those sides are very strong. The Jets Youth are going to knock over some big sides at the back end of this competition as Dan Lehman goes down the far side of the ground. Reese Cooper on the ball. Up towards Goodchild. He's got Ben Coyner in the middle. We're looking for his first of the season. Ben Coyner, Goodchild towards Coyner. Sits up for Simon Mooney, who hits a shot. And Simon Mooney adds to his account. And it's 6 now for Hamilton.
Again, Olympics transition into attack was great again tonight. And it was a great finish by Simon Mooney. Another, other than his parents sitting next to me, clapped the loudest in the grandstand.
Well, Simon Mooney had enough time to roll a cigarette and do anything. Smashed it into the top of the net. Cup of coffee.
Still, he had to put it away, and he did. So 6-0 to the good for Hamilton.
Here's Palminguria with the green boots. Looking across. Lehman just not having the pace to get down there. Flat-footed. So that's 6 for Hamilton, so they'll keep that for and against differential over Edgeworth now. But Edgeworth will remain above them on the ladder, 1 point ahead. As Mooney touches on towards Burtos. He goes to Cooper. Reese Cooper. Now for Simon Mooney. Towards the middle. Goodchild's there, and Goodchild goes down. And the free kick goes against Kane Goodchild. Well, that was a surprising decision. Billy Gibbons was knocked over.
Yeah, it looked like a fair challenge there, and it was a good challenge, actually. So people was quite surprised by the free kick.
Here's Ferguson with a touch on towards Kajun, and he wins the free kick.
You have to get credit for Ferguson. He's been outstanding for Azuri tonight. He's worked very hard. He's caused a few problems for the Hamilton defence, but I have to give full credit to Reem Ferguson tonight for Hamilton.
Unlucky not to add to his tally for the season. He struck a shot which was straight at Danny Island anywhere else, and he would have got Charlestown on the board tonight. The first game away from home for Charlestown where they haven't scored if they are kept to nil tonight. It's Goodchild over the top towards Daniel Bird. Only one side has scored 7 goals this season, and that was Broadmeadow Magic. They beat the Rosebuds 7-2 in round 1. It's Archbold. Ferguson and Grant Brown there. A little duel. Ferguson coming across. Putting Brown under pressure. He found the pass to Mooney, and now Cooper. Back to Burtos. It's the biggest win by a side this season. 6-0 if it stays at this scoreline. Edgeworth scored 6 goals against Charlestown. 6-1 it was back a couple of weeks ago. Now I'm back in round 7. There's Reese Cooper. Now finds Bird. Touches it through to Mooney. Yeah, the biggest win this season before this match with those matches.
Charlestown are looking very tired now, Ben, so hopefully for their sake they keep Hamilton out. So if Hamilton just keep knock the ball around, they might get another chance before the clock stops.
Here's Burtos. Few 6-1s. Edgeworth with a 6-1 over Charlestown and a 6-1 victory. A 6-1 victory by Maitland against Adamstown. Cody Lucas going back. So the heftiest defeat of the season, the biggest win of the season at the moment. It's Goodchild. Playing it through and towards the sideline. Gibbons runs down, lays it up the line. This Coiner across to Burtos, just too quick for Leo Burtos over the sideline. We tick into the last 2 of regulation time.
Yeah, with only last 2 minutes, just looking at man of the matches for obviously on the Hamilton side. It's hard to fault a player for Hamilton tonight. They've been very solid all night. They've showed good structure, good pressure on the ball, great work ethic in defence. You're looking at the likes of Grant Brown and Cole Hodge, especially in the first half, are very solid at the back. The 2 Swan boys did really well, but the centre 3 of Leo Burtos, Jacob Bailey and Tommy Spence were standouts for me, along with Daniel Bird, Goodchild and Reese Cooper.
Here's Ferguson taken down on the edge of the 18. Maureen Ferguson with a bit of push and shove with Grant Brown. So a late chance for Charlestown to get on the board. So it's Todd McSorley this time. Going to stand over it as Jared Johnson took the free kick in the first half from a similar distance. Here's McSorley, hits it low, straight into the wall. And then it sits up for Giln, who can't keep the shot down.
Yeah, so just back on man of the match, there's been some outstanding efforts for Hamilton, but I think looking at it, I don't know if you agree with me, Ben, I'm going to go with Reece Cooper. He scored 2 goals. He's been instrumental. He set up another one. It was unlucky not to score more, but he's been instrumental on the right-hand side in the first half and in the centre of the park in the second half. But other good performances, Kane Goodchild, Leo Burdos, and the rest of the side. So Mick Bosch will be extremely happy with his performance.
Yeah, my top 2 tonight were Tommy Spencer and Reece Cooper in the middle of the ground. I don't think I could go past Reece Cooper. He's had plenty of shots that have been on target that have been blocked as well. So he could have grabbed himself more than just the 2 tonight. As Elkington over the top for Lehman. Hasn't stopped running tonight down Lehman, down that far side. A cold evening.
I can't remember I honestly can't remember if I mentioned Tommy Spence. He's been very instrumental tonight, dropping in deep, picking the ball up, playing the strikers in. So I agree. I think Reece Cooper deserves man of the match tonight.
Here's Mooney on the ball, holding off Parminguria. There's Brown back to Ireland, bouncing up, and Ireland keeps it down. Be another clean sheet for Hamilton tonight. There's now Bird playing it through for Coyner. Just 6 goals conceded this year, Olympic, and Coyner gets dragged down. We're going to see another card here. It's going to be yellow this time. Parminguria goes into the book. Just trying to think. No yellow cards to Hamilton Olympic players tonight. And Charlestown with 3 yellows and a red to Jared Johnson.
Yeah, from the intensity from the start of the game, you could tell there was going to be cards popping out tonight. So there's been quite a few cards. But yeah, like you said, there's been none to a Hamilton Olympic.
Charlestown bench certainly letting Andrew Digby know about that. Here's Mooney with the free kick low. Deflecting off the wall and going wide for Bird. Goes chipping it up towards the back post of it, Nathan Archbold. And headed away. Just a reminder as we tick into the 2nd minute. Towards the 3rd minute of stoppage time in the second half. Big game coming up on the weekend as this one runs down and over. We've got full time at Edgeworth. It's Edgeworth 2, Adamstown 0. 4 minutes left at Western. It's Lambton with a 3-1 win there. So we were saying, Damien, on the weekend, we're saying Lambton's finals chances are probably gone, but due to the losses of Charlestown and Maitland, they'll still give themselves hope, Lambton. 5 points adrift as Daniel Bird sits up with him on the edge of the 18. Bird with a shot. Blocked by McSorley. And out for Andrew Swan. Yeah, they'll only be 5 points adrift, Lambton, of that top 4. As Mooney goes down, sits back up for Spencer, who comes flying in. And blocked again by Todd McSorley, who was on the ground. As now Pippin plays it through for Ferguson. Here he goes again, Reen Ferguson. 3 Olympic players coming back on him. Now Cody Lucas. Swan back to Ireland. And that is full time at Darling Street tonight. Hamilton Olympic just too strong with the 6-0 victory over Charlestown. And Damien, it was a great display from Hamilton Olympic tonight.
Yeah, Michael Bolt should be extremely happy with his side performance. I think more so the structure of his side. Like I said, he's moved Leo Burdos deep in the midfield, and he really sets the pattern for their play. There's a lot of link-up play with the 3 in the middle, with himself, Bailey and Spence, and also bringing Bird and Reece Cooper for the wide plays into play going forward. But also, you must a big mention to Kane Goodchild, coming deep, holding the ball up. But overall, their structure has definitely improved over the last few weeks, and they're looking very strong leading into the semi-finals.
And just we'll have a quick look at the ladder. After tonight's results, so Edgeworth will be on 28, Olympic 27. So they've opened up a 5-point gap. Olympic back to Magic in 3rd are on 22, and Magic have a 6-point gap back to Maitland in 4th. Maitland on 16 in fourth. Charlestown 14. That differential back to -10 now. That'll hurt Charlestown because Maitland are at +6. The Jets on 14. Valentine 11. The Jaffas now 11. Jump up to 7th. Valentine 8th with 11. And Adamstown 9th. And then Western 10th. So that 4th spot is very much up for grabs. And I think anyone from Maitland to Lambton, I think Adamstown's going to find it tough now. They're 8 points off with 7 matches left. But anyone from 4th through to 8th can get in that 4th spot.
Yeah, I might have called it a bit too early about Lambton because obviously Maitland dropping points against Valentine on the weekend was a surprise. If Maitland won against Valentine on the weekend, that would have just opened up that gap a little bit further. So, so it's like Lambton's only 5 points behind Maitland, and they have to play Maitland again. So obviously, and there's more chinks in the chain at the moment. There's going to be a lot of, I think there's, like the Jets at the moment, they're going to be dangerous. Even though they can't play semi-final football, I think they're going to be definitely pushing the top 4 spot because we've been very impressed with them over the past few weeks. But who's going to grab that 4th spot? Like I said, the top 3 I think will remain the top 3. In what order? I'm not quite sure. But 4th place is up for grabs.
Well, there's matches worthy of matches around everywhere this weekend. Edgeworth are playing the Jets Youth. That will be a cracker. Maitland are playing Charlestown. That is a huge game for both sides. And the match of the round is Hamilton up against Lambton here at Darling Street on Sunday. From 2:30, you'll be here with Chris Turner. Daniel Herrera will be filling in for me on Sunday. That should be a cracking battle, and I hope it's just as good as the FFA Cup match was a couple of weeks ago. So, Damien, thank you again tonight for your work. Good luck on Sunday. And I'll catch you in a week and a half. But full time here at Darling Street Oval, it was Hamilton Olympic 2 strong. How was Hamilton 6, Charlestown 0.